Christina Aguilera, that situation happened. Um, I mean, that was a weird one. But when Ron told me, he says, "Hey, man, listen, I got this girl. I want you to produce her." Da 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 da. Britney Spears was out. All I kept thinking was, "Oh my God, another Britney Spears. You gotta be kidding." Because she had no records out. I didn't know who she was. And I'm just like, okay, send her to me, all right? So I had her booked for 3 days. That's the way it works. I'm like, okay, well, we got to cut background vocals, we got to cut leads, and then if I have any follow-ups, I need another day, to cut the vocals. And these aren't all-day sessions. They're like roughly 6 hours. That's usually the max because you can't even push your vocal, especially a lead vocal, more than 2 hours. So she came out to me, little girl weighing about 93 pounds, and I hadn't heard her sing before. And so I said, well, you know what? I said, you know the song? And she goes, yeah, I know it. I'm like, all right. I said, well, let's go into the vocal studio and let's see what you got. So as a producer, you are always in record. As an engineer, you are always in record. You never say stop until the singer stops. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, because they could give you that thing, you know what I mean? And you can't get it back. So I said, well, look, let's just go get a warm-up, run through the song for me, and let me hear where you're at. And back at this time, I was recording on something called ADATs, right? And that was like the first digital 8 tracks that were out, but I had like 4 of them, right? She goes in that vocal booth, right? And I'm like, all right, okay, let's just take a take. And all I'm thinking is, they sending me this dang on, like, girl who can't sing, another Mickey Mouse Club girl. I'm like, because I still hadn't heard her sing, right? I put it in record because that's the mechanism, right? That's what you do. And I did this was a song called So Emotional on the Genie in the Bottle record. So it starts going, and I'm just sitting there at the board like, mm-hmm. So she starts singing, right? My jaws are like, all right. And she sings the whole song because I'm not stopping until she stops, right? She is killing the whole, just killing, like I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, oh my God. So the song stops. I go over to my vocal booth, boom, kick the door open, I stand, I go. And she's like, what? I'm like, what do you mean what? I was like, she's like, what? I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm like, I didn't know you could sing like that. And she goes, I'm like, oh my God, right? And in my mind, I'm like, oh man, this just got real, right? Okay, now all my producing chops, right? So here's the cool thing. I didn't have to do anything. Because all those years of bad singers, of recording and playing and all of the cheap equipment, working my way up, working with those singers, it was all right there, right now. It was great. So then I go, well, wait a minute. So what we had to do, it's unfortunate because on that record, the very first verse is the first time I heard her sing. The very first verse. The second verse, I had smoking, but it was a little too R&B, so I had to... the record company's like, well, she's not that kind of singer. I was like, are you kidding me? Right? And so we had to go clean that up. We cut the background vocals, everything in one day. So I had her for 2 more days. We would just go hang out at Wendy's because she loved Wendy's, right? And she loved Sugar Ray. And she would talk about guys. And it was great. And I would give her I gave her, she was tired when we had to do the bridge, so I gave her some coffee with hazelnut creamer in it, right? So imagine she's 90 pounds, right? She was buzzing off the wall, right? She's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, hey, slow down. And it was such a crazy experience that she even put that on her album in the notes. She goes, Ron, thank you for the crazy coffee episode, right? Which was really, really cool. But one of the things that I will tell you singers, while I was comping the vocal And before she had to go do ad libs, she was only listening to Mariah Carey and Brandy. So while I go, hold on a second, let me put this vocal together before you sing the bridge or whatever, she would put her Walkman on, and she would just be sitting, working on her riffs. That's all she would do. So then I'd be like, okay, let's go. So she was in gear. You see what I'm saying? She was doing what it was take. It was like her theme songs to get her vocal, thing on. And that's how she would hit it and attack it. So